Hey guys, so I'm actually coming pretty earlier than I usually do. I think there's like 4 days left of May, and I'm not putting this up until like a couple of days into April. So wait, April, May, June I meant to say. But I feel like it's the most appropriate time. Just a little preface, just in case you guys sort of just come for my wrap-ups and that. I've got a lot going on at the moment in terms of personal stuff. So I'm sort of just filming as and when I can. I've got a few things pre-filmed, and then when I'm in like a good mood and stuff, then I just bust out some videos and try and edit some. So just so I don't make this channel go stagnant, hopefully I will be able to record for long because my battery's just dropped down. But anyway, this is my wrap up for May, and then I'm going to do the part 2 of my Popsugar TBR. I think I've got nearly a book for everything. I don't know. The ones that I've missed out I'll put in the description because I'm still struggling. I don't know if I'm going to finish it now due to circumstances, but I'll let you know, and then I'll try and still do a wrap up at that time. But anyway, I haven't read near as much books as I read for the past couple of months. I've only read 6 books, and like 4 of those were like comics and stuff. So yeah, not as bad, but not as good, sorry, but still impressed with myself due to the circumstances that have unravelled. So I'm going to start with the first book, and again it's just very brief talking of this because I actually talked about it much more in last wrap up, and I've also got a review that I need to edit for it as well. But that was Winter of the Witch by Catherine Arden. This was the 3rd and final book in the Winter Night trilogy, and I gave that 5 stars. Again, I briefly mentioned thoughts, my cat's just come in the last wrap up. So here she is, oh cat butt. After that I picked up David Bowie by Isabel Sanchez Vergara. This was actually a NetGalley read. It's like one of those Little People Big Dreams or something books, and I saw that they had a Bowie one, and I was like, oh, Bowie. Is it Bowie or Bowie? I always say Bowie. I mean to say Bowie. It's so you wouldn't think that I actually listen to this music and quite like him. Bowie, David Bowie. But yeah, it's one of those. So it's a little bit about his life story and how he became to be a famous musician and that, and it's sort of aimed at children, so it's really colourful and bright. It's really cool. I gave this 4 stars. I love the artist anyway, like the performer, so it was nice to see like a little snippet about him. She's doing her thing. Can you see her? She's like in a trance. Oops, I've caught her. It was beautifully designed, again, very vivid colours and illustrations, really striking to look at, and it's a great level for children to absorb as well, so it's nice to know. Obviously this day and age isn't going to really know David Bowie unless their parents is really into his music and stuff, so it's a nice way to sort of introduce older singers and stuff to these kids. So yeah, I will say one of the negatives is I just wish it had a bit more substance to it to justify the price, but other than that it was great. After that I went back into the world of saga. I just starting or continuing on with volume 4 by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples. So this, I think I've briefly, everyone sort of knows about this. This is like a intergalactic Romeo and Juliet-esque story following 2 main characters, Marco and I can't remember the other girls, Alana, as they sort of try to be together despite the fact that they're opposing like races. One lives on the moon, one lives on this other planet, and they are warring. They should not be together, as society says, and they're just trying to get on with each other. That's sort of like the basis of the first book, at least. This obviously carried on. It's really interesting to see more of the world growth, because obviously they're on the run, so you get to see like lots of different planets that they're trying to escape to and stuff, so that was really interesting. I did give this a 3.5 out of 5 stars. I loved seeing more of the different beings. Again, one of the perks of them seeing and visiting different planets is you get to see the different kind of people that live there, or I don't know, would they actually be called people, because isn't people like a human term, but the beings and stuff that live on these different places. It shows the dynamics of how a relationship can sort of struggle and break down and stuff like that, which was really interesting. Quite a heavier subject that I found handled quite well, actually. It was happy to see Sophie and the Lion Cat again. I hated how some characters acted, specifically Alana. I wasn't keen on some of the choices she made in this one, and it bothered me. And I also was confused at times at how much time had passed. I was a little bit like, oh, where are we in the timeline? But yeah, other than that, I did enjoy getting back into this. So obviously I continued and carried on with volume 5. This one I gave a 3 stars actually, so I liked it a little bit less than that one. But yeah, Gus, or Goose, or whatever how you pronounce his name, is absolutely adorable. He was one of my favourite characters in this. I'm glad we got to see some more of him. I wasn't keen on the time jump at the very end. That kind of bothered me. I have a thing about time jumping anyway, and I don't feel like this was one of the most successful ones. It was just like all of a sudden we're here now, and I was like, oh, okay. I was unexpected for a preventable death that happened. I understand, yeah, plot and everything, but I was like, oh, okay, I'm not happy with this, but it just happened. Oh, okay. And then the other 2 books I don't have, because one of them was a library book, the other one was also a NetGalley one. So the other one I read was Bird Box by Josh Malerman. Now I do actually have a video that I filmed the other day comparing the film and the book as one of my film versus book showdowns. I've only done one of these before, and that was for Troll Hunters, the book, and the Netflix original TV show season 1. And yeah, so I just decided to do another one for that as well. I did give it a 3 stars. I won't bother going into my thoughts as I explain them more thoroughly in that video, so whenever that's ready, feel free to check that out if you are interested. And then lastly I read Soulfire Return of the Light by Michael Turner, and then like artists and stuff. There's like too many people to name for my mind to remember. I gave this a 2 stars actually. Unfortunately it wasn't for me. Basically it is about this boy. It's like a sci-fi futuristic plot, sort of. Young boy is orphaned, finds out that he has these magical powers, and he's expected to fulfill this destiny, this prophecy, but in a sci-fi setting. And I don't know, it wasn't for me. I guess it was mildly entertaining. I like that it was pretty fast paced and it's quick to get through, quick to read, but it wasn't my type of sci-fi, sorry. I didn't really care for the characters. I just kind of was reading to get it over and done with, and the plot didn't really interest me, unfortunately. So yeah, there's that. Check it out if you're interested, but it wasn't for me, unfortunately. I found out as I was reading it. So those are all the books that I actually read in May. Let me quickly do my tally. It's not going to be a very quick tally of the reading breakdown that I've been doing of late. So I read 1 library loan, 0 friend or family loans, 4 physical books, 2 Kindle/PC books, 0 magazines, and overall I've read 6 books in total. So now that that's done, let us quickly go through the books. I'm going to do it like how I did with my first, or my part 1 for the Popsugar TBR. I am just going to list them and then try and edit the pictures in. It depends on how I feel when it comes to editing. I do apologise if future gen decides not to do this. But yes, so I've decided that all the books in black are for this TBR video part 2. So yeah, if you don't know what the Popsugar 2019 reading challenge is, it is that there is a list of prompts of sort of genres and things to look for in books to read to meet each prompt, and then there's an advanced section which I most definitely will not be getting to this year, unfortunately. But yeah, let me just go ahead and tell you guys what I got. So a book becoming a movie in 2019. For that I've got Alita Battle Angel, a book written by a musician, fiction or non-fiction. I've got Bird Box, which I can tick off because I forgot about that, by Josh Malerman, because he's from the High String. I think that was a band or something. I didn't know he was a musician, but yes. A book you think should be turned into a movie, so that's Fierce Fragile Hearts by Sarah Bernard. A book with at least 1 million ratings on Goodreads. For that I chose HP, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. A reread of your favourite book, that will be My Sister Jodie by Jacqueline Wilson. A book with an item of clothing or accessory on the cover, so I've got Snap by Patrice Lawrence. A book published posthumously, so this means a book published after the author had passed away. The closest I could get to this with the books in my collection that I'm actually interested in reading is 1984 by George Orwell. He died in 1950, and it was published in 1959, if I'm correct. I googled it and that's what came up, so yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'll probably still keep that. A book you see someone reading on TV in a movie, Melmoth by Sarah Perry. Cheeky actually, because I saw this on YouTube. I don't really watch films that would have someone like reading a book really. I seem to watch like fantasy sort of stuff, and they don't really have a casual modern day book, do you know what I mean? Anyway, a retelling of a classic, I've got Dorothy Must Die. A book by two female authors, Gina from Siberia. I used this one twice. A book that takes place in a single day, They Both Die in the End. A book recommended by a celebrity you admire, Womankind, issue 18. She's not a celebrity, it's again from YouTube, I guess, if you want to think of them as celebrities, I don't really know. But that is by Mercy's Bookish Musings. She got me into this Womankind magazine, so yes, I would credit that to her. A book with zodiac sign or astrology term in the title, so I've got Legend of the Stars by Patrick Moore. A book that includes a wedding, An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green. A book by an author whose first and last names start with the same letter, Priory of the Orange Tree by Shannon something, I cannot remember, sorry. A book revolving around a puzzle or game, Crescendo, and that's a cheeky one because I am looking at it as mind games, so yeah. Anyway, that's it for this video. I tried to be upbeat, hopefully I came across upbeat, but yeah, sorry if I'm a little bit of a negative Nancy of late. I still want to do this because it keeps me happy. It's that simple joy. Let me know what you've been reading, what you'd recommend, and I will speak to you in another video soon. Bye bye.